being mentally prepared. Like, what does that mean?
Essentially, not winging it.
In this episode, we're talking about how to prepare yourself and others for recording at the Video Lab Content Studio. Out of desperation, please send that to us ahead of time.
We don't want to waste your time.
All those things could be a game changer for them when they come to actually sit down and record your episode or the content that you're making. I'm Caleb, host of the Video Lab show, where we talk about video marketing, video content, and video platforms. Today, I'm with our studio tech, Rihanna, who regularly works with clients in each of the podcast rooms, and nobody knows how to prepare better than Rihanna. Rihanna, welcome to the show.
Hi, it's good to be here.
So I think you've narrowed it down to really like two things when it comes to being prepared for coming in to record at the studio.
Yeah, absolutely.
Enlighten us.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, from what I've seen from behind the camera, I've seen a lot. But I've definitely narrowed it down to two things. Basically, physically being prepared,
Okay.
or mentally being prepared,
Okay.
and mentally being prepared
Okay.
to come in.
Excellent. All right. So what does being physically prepared, like what does that mean? I think we're going to break these down more in depth here in just a little bit. But from like one statement, what does it mean to like be physically prepared?
Oh, I would say physically being prepared is just what to bring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what to do.
Okay. Excellent. And then being mentally prepared, like what does that mean?
Essentially not winging it when you come here. Yeah.
Right. So not winging it. So like come ready to record, right?
Yeah.
Because you're paying for the space.
Oh, yeah.
Come prepared.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So now if we talk about being physically prepared, I think this covers a few different things. All right. So first of all, you mentioned like what to bring. Like if you have guests, you know, like how to prepare them
Right.
on what to bring as well, if anything, right? It kind of depends on the content that you're making and what you're doing when you're recording in here. But there's a few different aspects that I think really stick out. First, what to bring, what to do, and what to wear, right? I feel like what to wear is something that a lot of people don't think about. Do you have when it comes to what to wear, what does that mean?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, not many people think about it when they're thinking about being on camera and trying to prepare before.
Yep.
But essentially, you do not want to wear like little logos
Okay.
on your shirts or anything like that. And you don't want to wear like a lot of tiny little designs,
Yeah.
like stripes and stuff like that, because that really just messes with the camera.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. It's called moire.
Oh,
Moire
yeah.
but it kind of like creates like little waves in the camera shot. So like little tiny designs
Right.
on your shirt, because that's mostly like what's showing is your shirt, right?
Yeah.
It creates little waves in the camera, which is very distracting.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I've been doing this since 2012. And so that is definitely, I've been saying that for a long time of like, don't wear tiny designs, like little stripes, like you said, or little squares.
Yeah.
Those like what you have on right now is perfect. Like those are big squares.
Yeah.
So like that works, but little tiny designs does not, that does not work. It's going to cause issues with the camera. And I think like if you do come and record in the studio, you do get a playbook that we send out before you actually come and record. And a lot of this information is in that playbook as well that people can go and reference. And so you say tiny designs. I'm going to say one more thing just to add to that.
Yeah.
A lot of times if somebody wears like bright white, it kind of reflects a lot of colors and shows up sometimes kind of strange in camera. So if it's like a bright white shirt, you might want to rethink that as well. And a lot of times, like, for people like me and you who are behind the camera, a lot of times on our end, we'll wear all black because it doesn't reflect any light. And so if you see like a video teams out there working or whatever, a lot of times they're wearing all black. So that's just a little like insider information, behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Okay. So when it comes to what people should bring, what do you say? What should people bring?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you're coming in, things you want to bring are basically things you will need for the whatever videos you're making.
Yeah.
So whether that's like the scripts that you have, if you're going to say something in your
Yeah.
Everybody says it the other video.
If you want to say something specific, right?
Yeah. And if you just want to like you need that written out beforehand and just to know what you're going to say so that you can come in and just be ready to go, you know?
Yeah. I mean, especially like intros, you know,
Yes.
like that's important to have ready to go.
Yeah.
And I mean, even if like people can use the teleprompter in here as well.
Right.
If people want the teleprompter for their videos, please send that to us ahead of time, right?
Absolutely.
There's been some moments where it's been pretty last minute and we're kind of scrambling with the script, getting it on a teleprompter.
Yeah.
So please, and out of desperation, please send that to us ahead of time.
We don't want to waste your time either.
And that's something where like you're physically having to put that together, right? Unless we're doing some of that for you, which we do provide. But if you're doing that, like make sure you take the time to have those things written out.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know, if you're having a podcast and you have a guest, which we'll get into a guest here in just a sec, bring that stuff with you. Bring that stuff with you. Now, can somebody bring like, let's say, you know, we have some different surfaces here and, you know, a table. Can people bring like props or food or like all that? What about some of that stuff?
Yeah, we actually do have the option that if you want to bring your own little props to put in for where you can see it behind the camera or whatever, to make it a little bit more for your show or wherever you're doing for your videos and all that. It just kind of gives that uniqueness to it.
Yeah, kind of customizes it just a little bit. Now, we're not bringing don't bring in furniture or like that type of thing. First of all, we're not going to help you bring it up here, but you're going to have to get it up here yourself. But if you have like a little crate of something, like for one of the podcasts we do, like they have a neon sign that we put in the background, right? So like little things like that, that's not a problem.
Yeah.
You know, you can bring those things. Somebody else had a bunch of like pictures and everything. You remember that? So somebody had like a bunch of pictures and we just put those on the shelves. And it was a different room, but we put those on the shelves, like behind them, and it just kind of like customized their look. Some people have food for their podcast episodes. So like, so if you are doing any type of that, first of all, make sure it's not too messy. Second of all, make sure you have it ready, you know, have it ready to go. And now when somebody's coming to the studio, do you have any recommendations on like when they should show up or like when they should get here to get ready to record?
Yeah. I would say maybe about like 5 minutes before at least.
Yeah.
You know, and then maybe let's go 5 to 10 minutes.
And that's the thing, like we have the lobby that people can stay out there and if you do come early, that door might be closed if there's other sessions going on. But you can hang out there for a little bit. We'll come get you when it's time for you to record, but you can come a little bit early and kind of like get ready. Like physically get ready.
Get in the mindset.
Get in the mindset, which brings us here in just a second to that mindset and the mental prep that goes into it. Just one of the other things I want to ask about for the like physically getting ready is people who have guests come in. Like, is there anything that they should send their guests or how should maybe like a podcast host get their guest ready to come to record at the studio?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, if you have a guest, you are in contact with them. We do not, you know, do any of that. So you have to tell them like all the things about the dates and coming in and where the building is located.
Oh, that's
the
important.
time. Yeah. Sending all that information ahead of time to them is good. Like you need that so that they can come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the Video Lab has 2 locations and we've had people show up at the wrong location. So you want to make sure like you're very clear in which location you are going to be recording at. And then like even parking, right?
Oh,
like, where it'd be good to park.
Yep.
Now, if you're recording here, if you make the reservation, you get a confirmation that has that information like the parking information and building address, all that information in the confirmation email, you can send that to your guests so that they have that information as well, or add them to the email or something along those lines.
Sure.
So that they're ready to go. And anything else when it comes to having like a guest on your podcast? Anything else that they should like prepare?
Yeah. I would say that if you have any questions for them also, and you want them to know, you can send that so that they can be prepared. That they're not like just thrown under the bus and they don't know what's going on.
Like, what are we talking about today?
Yep, exactly.
So like being a podcast host, there's like different little elements to it that you want to make your guest feel as comfortable as possible.
Right.
Like we'll do our part here at the video lab. We'll do our part, but as somebody who is having guests on, make sure you're over communicating to them, because once you get in front of these lights and the cameras turn on, you're recording, not everybody is super comfortable doing that.
Right.
You know, and like just in our conversation, talking about some of this stuff, you know, in preparation, like our preparation for this episode is like, you know, you're as the host, if you're like the lead person on the podcast, like you're used to like coming in now. You've probably done it several times. You're getting more comfortable being in front of the camera. Your guest might not experience that.
Yeah.
And so just preparing them as much as possible beforehand, getting them ready with the questions, knowing where to park, what floor to come to, like all those things could be a game changer for them when they come to actually sit down and record your episode or the content that you're making.
And maybe you want them to come back, so you want them to feel comfortable and not be like so out of their element.
Yeah.
So if you want them to come back.
100%. Well, I think that was a pretty good breakdown of like the physical prep and how to be ready to come and record here. Now let's get into that second piece that you identified. I don't know if my finger, okay, so we're good. The second piece is being mentally prepared. How is this different than being physically prepared? What, like being mentally prepared? You said not coming in here and winging it. So how do we do that?
Yeah, absolutely. I do think a part of being mentally prepared is also like if it's your first time on camera, you don't want to be nervous as well.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't want to have that anxiety if you like don't know what's going on.
Yep.
So just as a way to prepare beforehand, you can do things like setting up your own script.
Yep.
And laying out what you're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Whether it's on like piece of paper or, you know, if you're fine using a laptop. Yeah. Just write it down really quick in your car. But so just having that ready is going to be a huge help to know what you're going to talk about, and just even if it's bullet points.
Yeah.
Like just.
Yeah. Like, so the actual process of like thinking through all of these things. And I think one of the key elements that we talked about before in preparing for this is like knowing exactly who you're talking to when it comes to your content. I feel like that frees up like so much mental space if like if you know with your content who exactly you're making this content for, and like answering specific questions that they have, like for your audience, give them a name. Like think of like specifically a person who is your ideal target.
Yeah.
Ideal customer. And like give them a name. And if you could sit down across the table from them and have a cup of coffee, like what would you want to tell them?
Right.
You know, regarding your industry or expertise or whatever that is.
Yeah.
Like identifying who that is. And like that's like a mental prep of just being like ready to go. So that, having your talking points ready. What else when it comes to like mental prep?
Another thing that when I think about it is sometimes some companies want specific things like taken out of their videos. If you have like socials or anything, and you just need to say certain lines, or any of that, you need to have that list also. Yeah, to just know what sound bites you need to come out of.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Having like very specific things that you want to come out of this, to make it worth your time being in here, like having those things all prepared, ready to go, thought through. Like, have those ready.
Right. Yeah.
Now, I know one thing that sometimes is kind of I know one thing that sometimes people run into when they record is just like 90 minutes can go fast, but sometimes it feels long, especially if you have like maybe back-to-back sessions booked. And so instead of 90 minutes, it's like 3 hours that you're in here. Like, what kind of toll does that take on people? And like, how can you mentally prepare for that?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's 2 ways. Time does fly.
It does, yeah.
And you don't even know how fast it goes when you're here just talking.
Yeah, totally.
But then the other half is we recommend taking breaks,
Yeah.
especially if you are doing 3 hours or more even of just doing whatever video work it is. Because it takes a toll on you.
Yeah, and you see that a lot being in here. I mean, especially with some of the people doing like coursework, right?
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of information that people are talking through, and it can be exhausting. Like focusing in on the teleprompter, reading your script,
Absolutely.
and just that mental capacity goes very fast. It's very tiring.
Yeah, especially if they're just pumping out videos like going through it constantly.
Yeah.
It's good to just take a break, which we are fine with. Yeah, take a couple like breaks because it's better. You look better on camera.
Yeah,
when
absolutely.
you take breaks. So
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. And I mean, we'll have water for you.
yeah,
You know, like if you bring something, we'll have tea, we'll have coffee for you. Like we have little snacks here in the lobby, you know, like we'll have that stuff ready for you, but we want the best possible outcome
right.
to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm phrasing that right, but the best possible outcome with your content to happen. And that happens when you're not fatigued, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think one of the things that a lot of people don't necessarily think about, and I didn't really plan for this as well, this episode, is having, like, we talked a little bit about intros, but one of the things that a lot of people don't think about are actually like the outros for their either podcasts or content. So like all of those things, the moral of the story, all of those things is be ready.
Yeah.
Don't come in here and wing it. Right.
Yeah.
And I've had plenty of conversations with people of like, don't apologize to us for not being ready.
Right.
You know, you scheduled your session. You know, we may or may not have talked through your content depending on, you know, what plan you have or like how we're working with you in that capacity. If you're working with us in that capacity, you will be ready to record, just FYI. But come ready, you know, don't apologize to us for not being prepared.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot that goes into making content. It's not easy. You know, like if it was easy, everybody would be doing this. Right. Like it's not easy getting in front of a camera, sitting behind these lights, right? There is like this preparedness that you have to go through to get that. And that comes in, what did you say? How does that come?
Physically and mentally.
Yeah. Well, that's all that we have for this episode. I thought this was a good like conversation which I'm excited to put this one online because I feel like people can find this and really like be like, okay, I will work through these steps to be prepared to go and record.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about this episode. And thanks, Rihanna, for joining us. I mean, you'll be on future episodes talking about the content studio specifically. And so I'm excited for those episodes as well. We have a working list that we're working through.
Okay.
So
There'll be
coming
more.
up, there'll be more. So it was good having you here. Thanks again for jumping on and getting away from being behind the camera and jumping on. How was it jumping on camera?
It was okay. I mean, it's only like the second time, I think. So, I mean, still getting used to it.
Oh, yeah.
Still don't like it. But
Well, you're doing a great job. So
thank you.
So thanks so much for joining us. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes about the Video Lab and the Video Lab show where we talk about video marketing, video content, and video platforms. We'll see you in the next episode.